This is the story of Elroy and how he got to where he is today. Elroy was born on December 3rd, 1994. Now, this date is important and will be brought up later in the story. On December 3rd, Elroy was born into a happy family, which consisted of his mother, his father, his sister, and the following year, his brother was born and completed their happy family. Throughout Elroy's life, he felt as something wasn't normal and that he wasn't like most kids. For his early life, there was an underlying feeling as he didn't really understand the whole personality thing and who he is as a person. And even to this day, he still doesn't truly know who he is as a person. However, he does have a pretty good idea, but not a fully baked idea, if you will. As he progressed in life, he noticed more and more that he didn't fit in and that he faced a number of diversities within a number of different spectrums. One of these things that made Elroy not feel normal is that for the first 3 years of his life, he didn't know how to talk, and on January 12th, 1998, he started speech therapy for about 2 to 3 years, in which he found out later that he had a delayed speech issue. However, after the 2 to 3 years of speech therapy, he hasn't shut his mouth since, according to his mother. In kindergarten, Elroy was struggling with basic learning skills and was recommended to be held back and to do another year of preschool. So his parents agreed with his teacher and Elroy went back to preschool. One of the reasons why he went back is because he started school a year earlier than most kids, as he was born in December. Furthermore, he had some underlying disabilities that would show up more clearer in later years. After doing a year of preschool, he went back to kindergarten and redid basic education. During this time, he still felt there was still something wrong with him. Just a quick side thought, not only did Elroy face these learning issues, but he also faced a serious problem to certain materials. For instance, he could only wear and touch anything that was 100% cotton. So when having a bath or shower, he couldn't handle being dried by a towel and would have to be quickly patted by one. After some years, he was able to overcome this issue, thankfully. However, when Elroy was in grade 4, so about 2004, he had an educational assessment done, which was on October 27th, 2004. And during this assessment, which spanned to, he thinks, 3 days, he was able to find out that he has a number of issues mentally, such as a delayed speech issue, a mild intellectual disability, or MID, ADHD, predominantly an inattentive type, a pronounced memory difficulty. However, he is more likely to remember something that is if he has a concrete, meaningful picture as a starting point. Elroy further has a developmental coordination disorder, or DCD, as well as an oppositional deficit disorder, or OOD, and placed in the low projectile category. These results at first didn't sink in, and he was frustrated at the fact that he didn't know what was wrong and he couldn't figure out his problems. During his early childhood, Elroy tried his hardest to ride a bike, but due to his developmental coordination disorder, he couldn't, and even to this day, he still can't ride a bike due to his balance. However, he hasn't really tried recently, so who knows. The following year from his assessment, so grade 5, so 2005, was when everything began to really sink in with the low projectile fact and the mild intellectual disability. Elroy was told that he wasn't smart and never will be. It was said that he wouldn't be progressing past grade 6. With this in mind, Elroy began to feel unmotivated and didn't try to further his academics, which also stemmed from his oppositional deficit disorder, and other facets of the oppositional deficit disorder began to be more and more pronounced, from acting out and having a number of more and bigger outbursts. This made it hard for Elroy to make new friends, and the old friends began to be afraid of him. Another reason why there was an issue of the outbursts is due to the post-traumatic stress disorder that he developed from a car accident that he was involved in on June 28th, 2005. Also from this accident, Elroy had developed a chronic motor tic disorder, in which he would shake his head back and forth rapidly. Thankfully, over the years, this has dissipated and only shows up under high-stress situations, and his post-traumatic stress disorder has completely gone away. After going to elementary school and the move to middle school, Elroy was grateful to have a phenomenal and wonderful teacher, Miss Odalia, as she was truly amazing. Miss Odalia didn't give up on Elroy and taught him a wonderful lesson that it's okay to be upset and angry, but it's not okay to be aggressive and to act in the ways he did. Miss Odelia further made sure that Elroy and his fellow classmates were their own person, and that it's okay to be different, and that it's okay to struggle and to learn in your own ways. Instead of being in the academic world, Elroy was placed into the Integrated Support Program, or IS, in which the main focus was you and how to function in the community. With this program, the students were able to become who they are today. Elroy had the greatest pleasure of having Miss Odelia for 3 years, and in that time he learned so much from her, and that he wanted to be motivated and to try more academics. Miss Odelia shaped Elroy into the person that he is today. Elroy didn't know this at first, but when he did, he found it kind of ironic in a sense and kind of funny. Like mentioned earlier, he was born on December 3rd, 1994, which actually happened to be the 3rd International Day of Persons with Disabilities, which happens every 3rd of December, and he somehow was born with these disabilities, so he found it kind of funny. Elroy went from being this unmotivated student from grades 5 to grade 8, so 2008, and by grade 9, part 1, so 2009, he became determined to get himself into the academic role and to excel in it. After convincing his parents and talking with Miss Odelia, it was decided that Elroy would attend Social Studies 9 in the fall of 2009, and that's exactly what he did. Elroy did have an IEP, or Individual Education Plan, in place in which allowed him to have modified assignments and the ability to have open book tests. For the first month or so, he did just the modified assignments and the open book tests. However, after the first month, he was finding himself getting bored and wanting to try the full assignments and do the tests without the textbooks. And to Elroy's surprise, he did quite well, and thus he continued to do so, and he finished with a B or B+, he can't quite remember. Elroy was supposed to continue the IS program at the local high school, which was called the Pre-Employment Program. However, he felt he wanted to be in full academics, so Elroy spent about 6 months convincing his parents to allow him to go to the local high school, where he would be able to be in the full academic world. His parents said that he was able to go into the program on one condition, that if there was one outburst of sorts, he was to go back to the local high school and go into the pre-employment program. Now, these outbursts have been a thing of the past at this point from the help of Miss Odelia. She was able to help Elroy with controlling this facet of his oppositional deficit disorder. Elroy moved to the new school and rated grade 9, part 2, so fall 2010, as he only did Social Studies 9. Elroy was able to go through the grade 9 year and got decent grades. He got A+, A's, B+, and a C+. He even took on 1 1/4 chapter of bonus math problems, in which he was one of the only kids in his class to do so. He went on to grade 10, so 2011, and then in 1 year, grades 11 and 12, 2012, and Elroy was able to get wonderful grades to the point where he was able to graduate with honors. Elroy graduated a year late, on time, and a year early, from being held back for 2 years and for doing 2 grades in 1 year. With being in control of his outburst, Elroy was able to gain the respect from fellow students and faculty members to the point where he was asked to be the graduating class's valedictorian, which was his proudest day, and he wrote a speech in which was able to invoke a number of emotions from lines like, "If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it," which he quoted from William Arthur Ward. He also stated that, "My sister came to the school and was very successful and raved about the school, so I decided to go here and to graduate on the regular program, even though it meant that I would have to perhaps struggle. I proved to myself that I can achieve anything by trying and not giving up." He also quoted from Miss Odelia that what he lacked in skills, he made up in determination and a willingness to work on his issues. Elroy further reminisced about different experiences that he has had with his teachers, his fellow staff members, and fellow classmates during his time at the school. Elroy does still struggle under test situations from his ADHD and his pronounced memory difficulties. It makes it hard for Elroy to retain information and to be able to recall it under stressful situations like during tests. Unfortunately, this is still present at this time. Elroy does still struggle with certain aspects of the academia world. However, he pushes through it and he learns from the help of his teachers and professors, from his peers, from the internet, and from his amazing boyfriend who helps out with his written English. Elroy further went on to graduate from college with 2 years and 2 certificates under his belt. He is a certified digital communicator and digital producer. Elroy further moved on to university, in which he currently is, and over halfway through a bachelor's degree in digital media studies. Elroy has received amazing opportunities from the university. He is a Snapchat coordinator. Elroy is further a rock star and instantly moved to a senior ambassadors for the Student Ambassadors program. He is one of the Digital Media Studies Club event organizers. He is a double representative in the Student Leadership Circle and newly added the Student Management Facilitator for Project Aurora. Elroy is ecstatic to finish his schooling and to see what opportunities arise. I would like to say that this story is a true story and that the character of Elroy is actually myself, Donald Louch. The above story is my story, my experiences, my struggles, and my accomplishments. My idea with this story is to hopefully bring some light and shine some light on the fact that you can achieve anything if you really put your mind to it and possibly struggle, and that's okay to do so. It's more than okay to struggle. Sometimes it's good to struggle, and just don't give up. Like, just keep doing you, keep trying your best, keep just being awesome. Be yourself. I want to give a huge thanks to my parents and my family for putting up with me and my mental struggles throughout the years. I want to further thank Miss Odalia for being a truly amazing teacher. Miss Odalia is not her name, but she is truly amazing. And actually the word Odalia is the Anglo-Saxon word for thankful. And I am truly thankful to have Miss Odalia as one of my previous teachers. And I want to thank you for teaching me the things that you've taught me and the truly amazing things that you have done for me and my fellow classmates. I want to further thank my teachers, my professors, my friends, my family, and my wonderful boyfriend for all the help that you have done and for everything that you have been able to do to help me basically be the person I am today. However, this is the end of the story for me at this point in time, and will probably continue later down the road, as life is always adding new things, changing things, and just progressing. I want to thank all of you for watching, and I hope that I've been able to inspire at least one of you. If not, that's okay, but yeah. Like I've said before, if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it, which I quoted from William Arthur Ward, along with what I said in my valedictorian speech of, you can achieve anything by trying and not giving up, and perhaps struggle. But it is doable, and it is something that you can do. And that wraps it up for me. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I at least inspired somebody. And catch you in the next one. Bye.